What's going on, everybody? So the plan is to head up to a thrift store, probably just one trip. I went to some garage sales this morning. I found a few things, not a ton. I feel like that's just my area right now in general, or that's just my luck. And my June sales are abysmal. So we need to try to turn this around somehow. And we still have half the month left. So we're going to go up to a thrift store. And then depending on if I find enough there to share with you, that could be it. But if there isn't, we'll come home and I'll show you some of the things that I found at some of the garage sales that I went to this morning, and then some other items that I found at thrift stores that I haven't filmed at. And we'll just add it up and accumulate it all together in hopes that you find the same or similar items when you're out thrifting at garage sales, estate sales, thrift stores, wherever it is you do your sourcing. But for now, we're going to head up to one store and probably one store only. So let's go there now. Some of you are going to get on my case if I say Le Creuset. So it's Le Creuset. I hear the Lou. I hear it pronounced Lou. So Le Creuset. Does that sound a little bit better? I'm going to grab this pan. It looks like other colors. This looks white for this number 32. And I don't know if it's vintage or not. Sell in like the $50 range. So that will be my first pickup. And I looked at this and I'd never seen a Dansk Mario Batali collab. I left this one behind. It was funny. I remember watching Mario Batali on the Food Network many years ago. Food Network is still one of my favorite channels. I just don't watch enough television, but I was reading about all of the like misconduct allegations, the like assault allegations that guy went through. Ended up paying out like tons of sums of money to settle these cases. And the guy doesn't sound like a great human being. I don't know. I don't know what's happened since then or what the details of those cases were. I just thought that was interesting food for thought. So, but price wise on that Dansk collaboration, I don't think there's anything there. But Le Creuset, 32, white color. I don't know the exact color. I don't know. Maybe I'll put that up for 50. I probably have to clean it up a little bit, but they are extending the homewares, the pots and pans section here. So some easy stuff to grab. And it's pretty nicely organized. So yeah, I thought that was really interesting about Mario Batali. I was always entertained by at least one of his shows, or maybe he was on like the chef challenges. Like was he on one of those like where the chefs go at each other, Top Chef or World's Best Chef, whatever the heck it is. You guys know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it doesn't sound like a great dude. Those Corel glasses, there was a set of either 3 or 4 of them that looked pretty nice, but I am so slow this June. I'm trying to be really careful with the things that I purchase. So there might be things that you would be on the fence about or I would be on the fence about purchasing that I'm not going to grab. This is an interesting piece right here. Green. There's actually a set of them. You'll see it a little bit later. I'm going to take the pan at $6.99. We're going to move over to shoes. I'm trying to replenish my Brooks supply. This looks like a pretty decent pair at $6. They are, what are they? Adrenaline 23, something along those lines. GTS Adrenaline 23. They're a great size. Women's size 8. Anywhere from $25 to $45. Looks like depending on the treadwear, I'm going to probably be more in the $25 to $30 range because there's just some slight wear. It's not, there's plenty of life left back in the shoe, and I'll throw them in the wash, but they will most likely fall in the $25 to $30 range. Those Brooks were a no purchase for me. I saw this, was it Lori Goldstein? I thought because I had never seen these before and they were pretty unique looking that I might have something here, but once I looked them up, I really wasn't satisfied with what I saw. So I come back to them and I'll put them in my cart, but they do end up going back. So not much to go on as far as the shoes go. I like that pair of Brooks. This pair of Nikes, again, a size 6. It's just not a very desirable style or colorway. So I'm going to leave those behind and we're going to check this. At least it's organized, right? It's nice to shop in a very well organized store. It always makes it so much easier to see. But I don't see anything else here that really catches my eye. Even at second glance, I see some Steve Maddens. I usually pass up that brand. Not something that I usually pick up. Pretty cool looking pair of purple Vans, but again, with me, Converse and Vans, they just sell so slow. Shoes in general are not usually fast sellers. So I know it can be hard for some people. Some people do not like to sell footwear at all, and I totally understand that. And it's times like this where I kind of regret having this many shoes too, because nothing for me is selling in June. And I'm talking like I might not even do half what I did last June, which was $13,600. Crazy talk. And yeah, I mean, I keep listing, I keep doing all the things, just is what it is. So Vanelli, this is a brand that I'd never seen before. Can't really work with those. And we're gonna have to move on to the next section, which is the electronics. I do notice that these heated ember mugs, the prices are coming down just a little bit. So I think even at $2.99, it's a good purchase because, again, this will land in the $25 to $30 range for me. But there was a time where if you had the mug just like that and you had the base, you were getting 40 plus pre-owned. Brand new, they used to sell for around $100. I'm not sure what they sell for brand new in that style because there is a taller style as well. But price is coming down on the ember mug. Still good, still a good pickup, and it will still sell. I've actually considered getting one for myself, but I'm kind of a coffee mug snob. Like, I really like the mix that I have, and the ember mugs are just kind of boring. So we're gonna leave that behind. Probably leave the, what is this, the Fart Master? I swear to God, there's a product for everything, right? Fart machine, number 2. Not gonna pick that up. Interesting set of stir sticks. These look vintage. It's like one of those things where the packaging looks vintage, although they might not be. Like, it could be, but it could not be. I might just be fooled here by vintage style packaging. Don't think there's anything there, so let's leave that behind. I haven't picked up a VCR or a DVD VCR combo in quite a while. They are coming through the stores. Just a lot of them on the market nowadays. Not as easy to sell them, which usually means the price comes down a little bit. And when you have to factor in testing all of them, it just becomes a non-issue for me because it's going to take too long for the amount of money that you can get for most of them. There's still plenty of examples where the prices are still good, especially if you have a remote. Thing works, it's in good shape. It's a desirable model. There's always exceptions to the rule, but haven't picked up a ton of them lately. This thing looked broken. Digital karaoke amplifier, karaoke's in general, karaoke machines, that type of stuff. I always pass those up. The next thing here that I am going to grab is a really nice piece. This snowflake ornament from Swarovski. This was 2004. These look like they sell for around $100 plus, even in pre-owned condition. You have to really look closely at this to make sure there's no chips because it sparkles like crazy. It looks amazing. 2004. I think I will list mine for between $90 and $100. It's only going to cost $3. There's a lot of Swarovski out there that is lower in value, and I mean there was a time where you could sell this at a premium price, no problem. That was one, I think, out of maybe 4 or 5 Swarovski pieces that I saw in the store this day, but I left the others behind. That was the one that looked like it had the most promise at the best price. So even though we're in, what are we in? June, coming into July, I'm still going to grab it because that's a very wide margin, and it does look like it will sell in that range because it is a pretty consistent seller above 90. This is a DeMarco, is that what that's called? DeMarco plate. Nothing doing there. Bunch of Mikasa. I think these turned out to be little frames, like crystal frames, like maybe a gift that this gentleman would give to some of his customers, and he just had a bunch of them on hand, something like that. Can't use those. Yeah, see, his business card was tucked away in there. Grab this piece here. Looks like some Valentine stuff in there. Love the Swarovski. Go over here to one of my favorite sections in the store to see if they've placed anything new here. We've seen these sprays that are kind of just sitting there. They're not really selling, but they did bring back some of the regular items to this area. So let's go deep and see if we can get anything in here. I think, and you guys are going to have to check me on this, but with OtterBox, you can see there's a cell phone case there. I feel like they were going Vero crazy for a little bit of time. I don't know if that is still the case, and I'm not even sure if that's an old Amazon thing only, or where you just like your stuff would get pulled, or you would get restricted on it, or they were sending Viros on eBay. I think it was a combination of both. So I don't source OtterBox anymore. Just an FYI, leave that stuff alone. But it could have changed, and if it has, just check me on that. But I kind of leave that brand behind. I also leave Brita behind too. Brita's sent me like a number of emails saying like pull all this stuff down, and quite honestly, I could fight that. I just choose not to because there's just not enough Brita in the area to really make a difference, and so I'll stand down in that regard. But I mean, depending on the item, I may still fight it. But brands I generally stay away from: OtterBox, Brita, a lot of HP inks, and I know we've had this discussion before where some of you sell it, even the expired stuff, with no problem. I've had issues with it, so I just kind of leave it be. But just food for thought, just always trying to help you guys out where I can and share the knowledge. Went over to some carts. That mug you saw, that little like orange guy mug, Disney, that had a little hairline crack in it, unfortunately. That might have been one I would pick up for personal use because my oldest daughter likes that that little orange character. But broken, can't use it. Some cast iron here, Mexican Fiesta. Nothing doing on that one. Let's see. Always checking the art area, ceramics, candle holders, old wood. That didn't have a mark on it, so I'm leaving it behind. Boy, Rapunzel looks like she had a rough night. Sorry, honey. It's a cat puzzle here. Puzzles. When COVID hit, boy, those you couldn't keep them on the shelves. It was great, and the puzzles still sell. I just, if it's a pre-owned one, there's no way I'm going through all those pieces unless it's like Liberty, one of those wood, those wood puzzles that are really expensive. I might check into some of those, but how fun is this? It's just a nostalgic piece. These don't really sell, but like that Kool-Aid pitcher, the vintage. I feel like, I wonder if the kids of this generation, they really miss out. I feel like everything from the 80s and the 90s, and I know like the Kool-Aid brand is probably even older than that, but just generally speaking, like everything was cool in the 80s, right? All of the music, the pop stars, the movies, it's just so nostalgic. And I think a lot of those movies hold up today, where I don't see that happening necessarily for the movies in today's day and age. This football you're looking at is signed by I think it's Roy Hall, former Buckeye. I don't think that thing has any value in it. I mean, maybe to some of the sports collectors it does, but at $7 I'm not going to touch it. But like, I can't see a lot of the movies that are being produced today holding up 30, 40 years later like the movies in the 80s and the 90s do. They were just so they had so much more, I guess, substance over like a longer, I guess, time frame or time period. If you agree or disagree, feel free to let me know. But I think these kids miss out a little bit. I mean, just so much. I mean, even like all those old John Cusack movies, like Better Off Dead. Those movies were hilarious. I mean, Pretty in Pink, like a lot of those, Breakfast Club, like all these movies that are just coming right to the forefront of my brain. Ferris Bueller's Day Off, amazing. My oldest daughter thought it was hilarious. I mean, we'll watch a ton of it. Those movies were just, and not even to mention the music, but I don't know. I think these kids are getting gypped. Is what I feel. You can agree or disagree with me. Let me know. All right, let's check out hats. This is a cool Boston hat. I didn't really see anything here that I thought I could work with, though. Hats now are, I think they used to be $2.99, and now they're $3.50 in my area, and so it's getting harder and harder to even justify putting some of them up at $20 or like between $15 and $20. So I'll probably be sourcing hats more at the outlet than I do inside the thrift stores, but that's not like, I don't want to have to default to the bins for every purchase. So don't see anything here. No wallets. There were a couple of bags that looked like they had some promise, but I think this one was generic. I looked the rope handles, but no, I couldn't see a brand on that one. Okay, like PVC canvas bag here, nothing doing. All of these brands don't. This is a Bath and Body Works brand. I didn't even look this up. So if that croc pattern Bath and Body Works bag sells, I missed it. And then the rest of these, nothing doing here. I did see, and I didn't catch it on film, there was a coach that could have been pretty good. I just didn't love the comparables on it. I saw one sell for 40. I just left it behind. Wasn't going to work. But this is the one thing that, like, you know, if it had a brand, like, I may have taken a chance on it. Very bohemian, I think. Just very cool. There's definitely a market for it. There's no way this thing lasts the rest of the day. Somebody will purchase it. But because I didn't see a brand, I just can't really mess with it. Can't really take the chance right now with as slow as my sales are. So I'm going to check, and we're looking, you know, obviously we're looking for some Jellycats. I did recently just sell one of those little tie Beanie Babies. It was only $12. It was a Halloween one, but I did sell it for like 12 or 13. I mean, I've had it so long, I don't even remember what I paid for it. Could have been a garage sale find for like 50 cents or $1. So they do sell. They sell. But I don't see any Jellycats. I don't see any home runs. So let's take a look at some of the things I found at some thrift stores recently that I didn't catch on camera and those garage sales. There's still plenty of time to sell bats, and I think I sell softball bats more than I sell just the regular baseball bats, or maybe I just find more of them. But this is a Z-Core titanium. Hold on, what's the model number? SZ70-2. It's probably, and one of the things you want to check for if you're selling bats is, like, you know, roll it, see if you've got any cracks, because some of these bats will, and this is titanium, but I mean, you still have to pay attention for cracks or dents. None here. See how there's a little bit of wear here? That's natural, and some of this is just dirt. So if I'm really feeling motivated, I can wipe that down. But, you know, marks, for those of you that don't and would like to start selling bats, like, this is not a problem. This is also not a problem. I'm trying to get that into focus. The grip, it's not really coming into focus, but like, the grip is in excellent shape, and this barrel is fine. There's no issues with it. As for the price, it's probably, you know, I'm going to say in between $30 and $40, and I might wipe it down just a little bit. But this is a very solid softball bat that absolutely will sell. As for how long it will take, I'm not really sure. But if you're looking at this, for those of you that don't sell bats, and you're looking at this and you're going, if I saw this at a garage sale or in a thrift store, it looks like it's got too much use. It doesn't. So take a look at that. Still sells between $30 and $40 again. Grip is in great shape, but re-gripping a bat is not that big of a deal. So just taking a look at all of the wear here, don't shy away from these types of things. You're like, how am I going to ship this, right? Walmart has a 6x6 box that costs like 60 or 70 cents. I'll just like box them up. Every now and then I'll see a box in like the trash that will fit this, and I ship clubs like that all the time, where I just stack those 6x6x6s from Walmart. Easy. It probably weighs about 3 pounds, and shipping cost is not as much as you think it is. So please don't be afraid to get outside your comfort zone and sell items like this, because this will sell. I picked this up for $5 at one of the garage sales. It's a motorcycle helmet case and it's for, I think, maybe smaller scooters and bikes, but it's got like base plates in here, and you can mount it to the bike. Model number on this is SH26 Shad. One of the things I noticed is, like, all of the active listings are from overseas, and so I'm thinking that, you know, because I've got one that will be listed here domestically, I can still charge maybe $50, $60. You can get these brand new for $100 on Shad's website. Never seen this before, but it looks pretty straightforward when you're looking at it. It does have all of the components and keys and everything. It's pretty cool, right? So for $5, I thought, you know what? I'll take a chance. I have the original box that it came in. So this is one of the items that I thought I could make stand out pretty easily on eBay and sell quickly for 50. Paying $5, you know, I'll take that. Something that I'm not really 100% familiar with. I'm not a motorcycle or scooter rider per se, but he showed me that it does have all of the parts, and he was like, yeah, just really have no use for it anymore. So $5, I think that was a pretty good deal. So yeah, I'll probably end up listing this between $50 or $60. No idea the length of time it will take to sell, but I'm going to be the only one, I think, in the US that has this listed. So maybe that makes me stand out. Maybe that means it sells sooner than later. I'm not really sure, but for $5 on a light day, I'll take that. I don't know what it's like sourcing in your area, but I feel like in Columbus, Ohio, and I don't know, I can't speak for all of Ohio in general, that Tiki is just hard to find. It doesn't turn up in our state as much as it does in some other states, but I did find a pretty cool Tiki item. I think you pronounce this guy Moai, Bob. If I butchered it, just whatever. But look at how cool this little statue is. And it says it is a Derek Mason design from 2019. He is great, right? Found this at a thrift store. It cost me $4.99. I currently have him listed for $50, which is on the lower end. So I want to move some of this stuff. So he sells in the like $50 to $60 range pre-owned. I'm pretty sure I have this listed as pre-owned. No chips, no cracks, no crazing of any kind, but really cool to see a pretty unique Tiki piece in Ohio, because we just don't find it that often. I do sell a decent amount of Kahiki Supper Club items. Mostly it's like the Tiki cup or the ceramic. It's almost like a vase. I don't know if you drank out of it. I wasn't in the Columbus area or never went to the restaurant, and I know it's been closed for a long time, but we do find some of that here. So that's about as good as it gets, or like the majority of the items that I do find that are Tiki came from the Kahiki Supper Club. And I've talked about that place on this channel before. Boy, it would be nice to bring that thing back because it really did look pretty cool back in the day. But yeah, why Bob? $50. I love it. All right, on May 10th, this exact candle sold for $185. I saw a sale for $215. The price has gone up pretty considerably. It was selling in the $125 range. So I have this listed at, I think, $190. Mirror is the scent. Very, very rare. Yeah, brand new, triple wick. And I'm going to tell you what, I need this thing to sell like yesterday. So I'm hoping that I can get the full $190 for it. I think at $185 with the $215 sale, and there was also a $200 sale. And I think $190 is fair just based on where the price is headed. But that's crazy. And I think there might be one or two other of these listed. And they're all sort of in the like 190 up to 215 range. This is why I say, please just, if you looked at it and I didn't know any better, you wouldn't assume that this was one of the rare candles, hard to find candles, and people were paying, around 150 to 200 consistently for it. But this is why I say, just check every candle. I scan every one that I can, just out of habit at this point, because you get lucky. So I need this thing to sell in June. I'm very hopeful. I think 190, in between like 170 and 190 probably sells it, depending on if somebody catches if I send an offer out or not. I don't think this is a candle that I need to send an offer out on to try to develop or to garner more interest in making a quicker sale. But I will take 175 to 190 all day long. It's a great find. Don't be afraid to step outside your comfort zone, check all those candles, get into a new category. These are all the things that I'm trying to continue to do in 2025, and that's all I have for you. Hope you learned something and you enjoyed that. If you did, please make sure you're a subscriber to the channel. Hit that sub button for me. Totally free for you. Absolutely helps me out, and that's it. That's all I've got for you. Thanks again, and yeah, we'll catch you in the next video.